Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Blind Chick. That goofball is Moses Street.
And that's Penn Street. The Blind Chick.
Wah, wah, wah. In just a couple of weeks is my birthday, which there was a little iffiness this last year if I was going to see this birthday. So this one is really extra special. And you guys last year were so amazing sending in cards for my birthday because, as you know, I'm not a big fan of getting social media birthday greetings because all you have to do is push a button.
The sincerity is overwhelming.
It is. But when you actually have to go and pick out a card, or some of you last year made cards, some of you even brailled cards. It was so beautiful. And to me, it's a two-way street. Is you guys get to take a time, take a minute, calm down, take a minute off that rush of life and sit down and actually do something, write something, the old-fashioned way, actually put a stamp on it and send it. And so we're kind of doing that again this year, and we will read them on air, just like we did last year. And so if that's something you would like to do, send those cards to Aftersight, and the address is 1805 Highway 42. Suite 220, and that's in Louisville, Colorado, 80027. And our amazing producer, Jonathan, will be putting those in the show notes. So if you didn't have a pen to write that down, or you could look up Aftersight, and our address is at the bottom. So, but we are going to get started because we have a fabulous guest. Moses and I've been super excited to have her on.
Yeah.
We feel very connected already, even though we've never met until today. Just her story and how she lives her life is something that I definitely strive for. Jordan Hankins, welcome to The Blind Chick.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here, and I love y'all's energy already. So I'm excited to see what we get into today.
Now, where are you joining us from today?
So I'm sitting in Austin, Texas right now.
Oh, we
you
love
got snow
a
couple months ago.
Yeah, that was got to be weird.
Yes, everyone bought up everything on the grocery store shelves.
No.
They thought that we were going to be facing Armageddon, I guess.
Oh no. Moses and I visited Austin was it October, November?
Yeah, what a cool city.
I don't know if you knew about it. It was called the Blind Travel Summit. It was absolutely fabulous.
No, I have not heard of that, but I learned once I moved out here that there's actually there's a large blind school here. So there's a lot of blind community here.
Yeah.
And I had no idea until after I got out here.
Surprise.
Yeah.
We're everywhere, Jordan. We're everywhere.
Apparently. That's awesome. Yeah, no, Austin is very special, I would say. I'm from Dallas, and so I've come down to Austin quite a bit. I lived in Austin back like 10 years ago, but I'm back here now, and it's just really, really special. So I like it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's such a young population. It was shocking because living here in Colorado, all you see are raisin people like me, really old. And to see somebody 30 or younger, what? It's like bird watching. I saw somebody that couldn't have been over 25.
That's so funny. Yeah, a lot of people say that about Austin, that's very young, but I actually feel like it's a big, it's very diverse as far as age group. Like there's people, you see all different like age ranges, at least where I live in downtown. And so I really enjoy that it doesn't feel like it's a college town. It really feels like there's a lot of different people and lots of different stages of life living here.
And that people actually live there. That's what I liked about it. It's like there's actually people that that this is their home. Like some cities like feel very transient, but Austin, we loved it. We would like to go back when we're not working and actually really absorb the city.
And a great music scene, which we loved because you would not think of it, but our little town of Loveland, which is right below Fort Collins,
in Colorado,
major national music scene. A lot of the folkies in particular are coming out of here. And I'm not going to be able to think of a single name.
That's okay. That's okay.
But living in a town that's a music center is so cool.
Yeah. Well, Jordan, I want to get to know you better. I've seen you on social media and YouTube, and Jonathan provided us with your bio and things. But Moses and I kind of just look at that as, okay, this is where we start. But I really would like to know more about you. I know that you were very successful in the real estate world, and you really hit this crossroads with your vision loss. But I would like to tell us a little bit about yourself before you hit that crossroads.
Well, I was living in Dallas and running a real estate company for, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7 years. And was honestly just like really consumed with wanting to make a lot of money so that I could travel. And it was I think from the very first time I had my first job, I realized that I wanted freedom in my life. And so I very quickly decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And the first thing that I was in the real estate industry already, working at an apartment community. And so before like all of the crossroads with my vision loss, I was at a place where I was grinding. I was really concerned about just making all this money so I could eventually have all this freedom and travel and take care of my family. And so I would say my priorities were, they had good intention, but they were definitely skewed. And so when I came to the crossroads that I did come to, it was a really big eye opener that I realized, okay, I have not been living in a way that I think was really truly authentic to me. So my crossroads that I did face with my vision actually was just like really, really beautiful. And so that's where I was previous. And I actually just posted the other day a video of me before and after this crossroads transition.
Yeah.
And so many people were commenting saying, you look like a totally different person. And I'm like, I truly believe that I've like lived 2 different sets of lives, the ones before and the one before my vision crossroads and then after.
Yeah. And I don't want you to diminish the importance that you were able to do that. Because I feel like so many people hit that crossroads and they get stuck, right? They're grieving the life that they were hoping to have and that they were building, right? But they can't get out of that rut. And you, I know it's easy to kind of look back with hindsight and go, oh, I made this beautiful transition. But was it difficult for you, or was it really like, okay, this is reality, and what am I going to do? Or did you have a transition period that was a little bit dark?
Well, I am very open about this on all of my social media platforms. I definitely had a transition period that was very dark. But I actually think that it didn't last as long as most people's do. I do also believe with you. I agree with you. I do believe that a lot of people hit a certain space and then they just can't get out of it, and then
they're stuck.
Yeah, they reside there for the rest of their life, and that goes for. I really think anything, even if it's vision loss. I mean, a lot of people just hit certain places and they just can't get back out. And so for me, I definitely went through, I would say maybe like 4 or 5 months of being in an extremely dark place, not really even wanting to continue my life because I just was really worried about what was going to happen in the future. And like you said, like we have these ideas about what our life is going to look like, and then just feeling like, okay, it was all for nothing, just all of those thoughts that I'm sure most people can understand. But there was a point in time when I just kind of realized that I'm like, I don't want to live my life like this. Like there's no way that there's no way that I can just continue to be in this space. And so I did just have, I would say there was a couple of conversations that I had with like one or two friends, and a couple of times that I really sat with myself and was like, okay, I need to figure out how to get out of this. And that's what I did. And there was a point in time when I was working with a Reiki practitioner, and I was laying on her bed, and I just had this like kind of download, this epiphany that I'm like, you know what? Like I always wanted to travel. That's why I like got into real estate. That's why I've been doing all of this, and I may not be able to travel anymore. And so I'm going to just do it. And so that was kind of like the deciding factor in the turn of events, that I had that just epiphany sitting on that Reiki table and just was like, you know what? Screw this. I don't have anything else to live for. So I'm going to go travel. And that was what kind of turned everything. So.
And since you mentioned Reiki, did you have a sort of a link to, I call it like Eastern medicine, like not Western, right? Like sort of this out of the box. And I'm a big believer in those things too. I'm not a big fan of Western medicine. Like if I break my arm in pieces, yes, go put it back together. But to actually heal, like, but did you already have those pieces in your life before?
Yes, I would say so. I was raised very holistically, I guess you would say. My mom came to a point with my brother that he was having a lot of like attention deficit type things when he was in elementary school. And my mom started doing research about it and realized it's actually his food. And so that I was basically raised with this concept and idea of like, it's actually what you put in your body. And so that's, although I wasn't as deep as I am now into this type of lifestyle, it wasn't something that was totally out of the box, because my mom has always really believed in like taking care of our bodies. So when I went to do Reiki the first time, that was the first time I had done Reiki, because I intentionally sought out during this dark time of my life, I intentionally sought out a therapist that was very holistic and incorporated meditation and was very Eastern medicine. So she actually was the one that connected me with this Reiki specialist. So I was already very open, but I would say now I laugh because I think my mom is the reason why I'm like the way that I am, but I'm like so much deeper in the game than she is at this point.
Yay, moms. I think that's wonderful.
Just a little note is I'm loving this because I had blindness wasn't involved, but I had a similar experience. Is I wanted to be successful, make a ton of money in the photographic world. And I did that. And then I just crashed, absolutely massive nervous breakdown. And that started the trip. And similar to yours, although I was in a dark place for that's where
But then he met me and I pulled him out.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So I'm really relating to what you're saying. And on the medical part, which is why we're excited to talk to you, is I did not believe in any of that hippie granola stuff, even though I had been a hippie for quite a while. And but we found this acupuncturist who was Korean trained, and he used actual real herbs,
that he grew. Him and
not like lemon tea, and that guy could cure anything. And so, I'm a believer. So I'll drop out and you and Penn get going again.
But
I just
Yeah.
ordered all of my herbs yesterday. I'm so excited to get back on herbs.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm a full believer in all of the plants on this earth are just magical. So
Yes.
Oh, are they?
I
Yes.
agree. And when people like, I kind of was like, oh, I had a point in my life, like, because similar to you, my mom was, she was Native, she's passed away now, but she was Native American. And so when she was raising us, like, all of our food came out of our garden and off of our farm. And if you were sick, you didn't get antibiotics. She would go out in the forest and forage. And so my body was not, like, had never even had like a Tylenol in it until I was 9. And then I got really, really, really sick. And they started, the Western, and they did save my life, and I appreciate that. But all of that medication they pumped into my body, what, 7 years later? No, not 50, 47 years later, it's like, it's still, like, I feel like they're cured. Actually, yes, it saved my life, but I've been having to fight the consequences of it since then. And I think a lot of people are in that situation where they kind of get in this cycle, like, of this, like, even with vision loss and medications to help, like, with ADHD or depression and these things that are going on in our lives, where you kind of get in this cycle, like, okay, you take this medication, but it triggers this. So then you have to take a medication for that so that you can take this other medication, and then that triggers, right? And it's just this awful, awful cycle. And right now in my life, I'm really trying to get out of that cycle again. And so when I went over everything you're doing, I was like, oh, this is, sent from the universe. And so I would love for you to share what that, like, really that moment was. I know you were on the Reiki table, but you really decided, like, that this is an opportunity for me to actually maybe have the things that I wanted, but maybe just in a different way.
Well, I mean, I feel like I had several groundbreaking moments throughout this like transition of, I would say this all kind of transpired the year that I turned 30, which people that are into astrology, they're like, oh, that makes sense. It's your Saturn return. And I'm like, I didn't even really know what that meant until later. But yeah, no, when I turned 30, it just seemed like everything in my life blew up, like my business, my love life, my health, my finance, like everything blew up and at the same time. And then I was on that Reiki table after being in this like dark space for probably 4 or 5 months. And I made that decision, like, hey, I'm just going to pack up everything and travel. And while I was traveling, when I was out of the United States and I started meeting with all of these different people, I was in Thailand at the time, and I was meeting with all of these different people that were from all over the world. They were not Thai people. They were just people that had flocked to this one area that were all into wellness. And I would go to this retreat, or I did like this silent meditation, like I did all these things while I was there. And I started to feel so amazing. I believe it was from like the way that I was eating and I was meditating and moving my body a lot. And then I also was talking to all of these people that had cured themselves of stuff that were just like not curable according to Western medicine. And so I had all these light bulbs that were going off that I'm like, wait a minute, like I think I started to realize, I don't want to get too like deep into that whole idea about it, but I realized I'm like, what was going on with the Western medical industry? And I'm like, of course they're not going to give me answers to like get better. So I started to really become my own. I think after meeting all of these people, and I started working with like a detox, like iridology specialist out there. And I just believed that I had the capability to heal my body. And so I started to go down a really strict detox regimen with herbs and with all of these different like acupuncture every week and chiropractic, like just all this stuff. And
Yeah.
I started to notice things with my body, with my vision, with my physical body, that was just crazy. Like I
Yeah.
was watching myself transform before my eyes, and everybody else's eyes saw it too. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of there were several times that I just were like made that decision, like, you know what, I don't care if there's nothing I can do about this vision loss thing according to whoever. I'm
Right.
going to just be my own advocate. And you know, what's the worst that could happen? Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna get really healthy. And
Yeah.
so
Oh, darn.
yeah, so I made that decision, and I made the decision to just go down this health journey, and I just started feeling so amazing that I just kind of haven't really turned back since.
Oh,
So,
and how long ago was that?
that was, I guess, 3 or 4 years
Oh,
ago.
wow.
So
That's awesome.
obviously, like I'm a really big believer that when you go through these huge life transitions, regardless if it's like a physical thing, like you're detoxing, or even if you just have a huge wake up call of anything,
Yeah.
obviously there's all different types of stages of it. And so I think when I was traveling, I was at the top of the mountain and I was like, oh my God, I can save
Yes.
myself. And then
Yeah.
you know, coming back to the United States and trying to like integrate back in with society here, where it's like you're
Yes.
constantly being told like you need to work really hard and you're constantly being
Yes.
told all this stuff. And so I've had over the past 3 years, 2 or 3 years since I've been back living in the United States, it's been like this dance that I'm trying to figure out, like learning the
Yeah.
balance between all of it, because realistically, like a lot of people can't just pick up and quit their lives the way that I did.
Yes.
And so I've been trying to learn the balance so that I can better like support and even just educate and motivate other people that maybe are living here that want to go down this path too.
And I think that's the hardest part of the hardest things, because, you know, I've done these things too, like you're talking about, like where you, like you feel like you're at the top of the mountain, like I am amazing and I'm going to be okay. And then I don't even know if it's I don't even like to call it reality, but life kind of like the old life starts creeping in.
Mm.
And it's like, Moses and I have talked about that. Like, how do you keep that energy, you know, of like, how do you keep those, like the Western medicine at bay or the societal pulls at bay? And I think that it is hard. Like it's especially living in the United States, I feel, because like, you know, we spend a lot of time like in the Yucatan and Costa Rica. We visited Iceland last year.
Wow.
In Iceland, Moses and I just felt this energy in Iceland that we have never felt anywhere else.
I've heard it's amazing there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jordan, you will not want to leave. It's like Moses and I, we were making plans to go back this fall because we want, like we experienced it in the springtime, early summer, and we would like to go experience it in a different season. We don't want to go during peak season, which is summer, because that'll destroy.
It sounds terrible. It sounds terrible.
But like we left Iceland with this like, oh my God, I felt like every molecule in our bodies had gotten changed for the better. But then it's like, we came back to the United States and we were like, we even talked about it. Like, how do we hold on to this, right? How do we hold on to this? And we tried and tried and tried. And we still have it, right? I feel like I still have Iceland energy in me, but I would love to hear how you are finding that ways. And then also because you're teaching it, trying to teach people how to, that can't travel, like give up whatever's going on now and be able to escape, right? To someplace like, and I realize that too. Not everybody can go spend weeks, you know, away or months or years, like Moses and I could, but you know, there are people that can't do that. So how do we find that in our home, in our community, be able to sustain that? Like what are some of the things that you found in your travels and in your studies that you figured that out?
Well, it's taken time. It's definitely taken time and patience and grace with myself, because because for me, like, I was in Thailand for about 3 months, and then I ended up moving to a small beach town in Mexico for like 6 months, because
Oh, wow.
I told myself, I'm like, I can't live in the United States. Like, this is so hard.
So where can we ask where in Mexico?
I was in Sayulita, which is outside of Puerto Vallarta.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was there, and I was there for 6 months, and it was great. And all the people around me were very focused on like there were so many people I met there that had moved to Mexico for health reasons also.
Yes.
Like, they were trying to heal themselves of different things. And so I think I got to the point where I just was like, I felt like there was still stuff left that I was supposed to do. Like, I think that piece of me that I'm sure you guys can probably relate to, like, that I felt like I still wanted to build, and like that, maybe that like more entrepreneurial mindset, the American like grind, like I still had that in me. And so living in that beach town where everyone was just hanging out at the beach and surfing, I mean, it was like a utopia. And I just kind of missed the duality, like having both sides. So I decided to come back to the United States, and the first year that I was in Dallas, it was really hard. Like, I was so depressed. And it was, I don't know. I think I just like started to, I tried to incorporate, and while I was there, I tried to incorporate the things that I knew were important, like not being on screens very much, being outside, eating really good. Cause here in like living in a city, you have access to all of this stuff. And where I was living in Mexico, there's not even grocery stores there. You have like fruit stands on the corner, and that's it. And so I kept trying to get my mind back into like the checklist of things that I know are important, which is moving my body, being outside, eating food that is actually real food. And like just all of these things I was like trying to incorporate. But then ever so often I would find myself in these spaces where maybe I was having anxiety, or I was feeling like depressed. And I would kind of creep back into those old habits of like maybe eating stuff that isn't good for you because it like makes you feel good for that moment, or maybe scrolling on my phone for hours upon hours at nighttime because I was like needing to numb out. And so it was like this balance between watching myself like, oh, I'm doing really good, and then like a few weeks later being like, oh my gosh, I've been eating bad food, or I've been on my phone more than I'm supposed to. So it was just like this seesaw of like, I'm doing good. No, I'm not. I'm doing good. And so, so I think I ended up moving to Austin because I realized that there was a lot more of the things that I needed to be able to support myself, as far as like there's a lot of community here that's focused on wellness, and there's like a lot more nature here. And so that was something that I did because I knew it would be very supportive for me. But I obviously, not everybody can just pick up and move either. And so I think that people that are in a position to where maybe they can't necessarily like go travel for a long time, or they can't pick up and move, I think it's really important just to get back to the basics of what we know is important as a human being and as just a living creature on this earth. And that's just getting outside, like making it a habit the same way you brush your teeth, like making it a habit to go outside for like 30 minutes. Just like those basic checklists that we think are like common, or we think like, oh, that's not going to solve things. But I have worked with several people that they're like, I didn't even realize by just eating whole foods, like real foods, my anxiety would go away or my depression would go away. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty basic. So I think just getting back to the basic things are what's really important. But unfortunately, you can't package that up and sell it to people. So they're not telling you these things.
Well, especially in the United States, I think, I think there was a day in January that I was literally in the emergency room and hooked up, to machines and stuff. And I was just laying there and I was like, and I'm like, this is not me. This is not me. and and it isn't. I'm very, very spiritual, and I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual, and I have a very strong connection to that, and have since I was little. And I know without a doubt that when I feed that and that I'm okay. Like I'm me. I'm Pen, and but I just got caught up in this like what you said, like you're constantly being pulled, you're on your phone, you're eating bad because you're rushing around, you're letting, I love my job. Like I love my job. I love my team. I'm in such a good place financially, and health-wise with my work, right? Because we all need to make money, unfortunately. But looking even at that, like where am I letting old habits creep into the space that they don't even belong? Like I don't need to be stressed. Like, in my old job, yes, I did, but I'm in a position now where I don't, like I tell my team, if you need to take time off, or we're not brain surgeons. We're not,
right.
What we do, it does enrich people's lives, and people do depend on us. But if you need to take time off, it's okay. Nobody's going to die, and which is wonderful position to be in. Take care of yourself first. And I think both Moses and I we kind of got like back into that, like, cycle, that like letting those negative things, like you said, like the phones and the bad food, and like realize like, oh my gosh, I have not gone outside in like 3 days except to go to the car and back, and I'm like, again, that's not me, right? And so it's so, when you're in that cycle, it's so hard to get out of it, unless I feel like somebody smacks you in the face, or you're laying in an emergency room for the 12th time in a year, or or you get diagnosed with something really life-changing, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I need to get back to that person that I know I am. And I think it's great that you're sharing, and you also, you're sharing your journey, and you're pretty raw and honest on especially your YouTube channels. How do you, and because people do that, Moses and I, it is such a fine balance with social media, because people ask us all the time, like, oh, you guys should share more. We want to know what you guys are doing. And because Moses and I do have a really incredible relationship, and I cherish it every single second of every day.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's like, especially in this time in history, like everybody is on social media and sharing. It's like, I don't want to get caught up in that. How did you find that, or how are you finding that balance of sharing? Because I am sure there are thousands of people out there that you have changed their lives that you will never know, right? In maybe a small way or a huge way, like you have for Moses and I, right? But like, how do you find that balance? Because YouTube and social media is almost the opposite of health.
I know.
Kind of, right?
Yeah.
But also, how did you make that decision that I'm going to share this journey?
Well,
sorry, that was a million questions. But you just fascinate me. So it's like,
okay. So the first thing, with social media, okay. So I guess I'll answer the second question first, because it leads into the other one. But so the reason why I decided to share is because I had always been somebody who is super heavy on social media because I ran a real estate company, and
yes, that makes
that's like
sense.
where you get clients from. And so I had spent all of this time being like, real estate Barbie, look at my
Yes.
big company, look at all of the fancy places we are. You know, I spent social media doing that. And then I was sitting after I realized that my vision was like rapidly declining. Somebody had told my family about this acupuncturist that was trained by this other person that's up north. A lot of people in the RP community are familiar with these people. I forget what their names are, but anyways, it's one of the gentlemen that had been trained by this other doctor was in DFW in Dallas. And so I was sitting, I was going to these acupuncture appointments twice a day, every day for 2 weeks. It was like this whole protocol for people to help them with RP, actually. And they were traumatizing experience. Like they were putting needles. Like, first of all, I love acupuncture.
Yes, me too.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
This specific, I love acupuncture. But this specific protocol and doctor that I was going to, they were putting needles at the bottom of like my hands and my feet, which I already have a phobia of that. I think just from like growing up, my dad would always tell me, you're going to step on glass because you're barefoot. So I just have this phobia of like stuff going into my feet. And so anyways, I was in between doctor's appointments going to this acupuncture thing. Every single time I went, it was literally traumatizing. And actually, I take that back. I was laying on the table with all the needles on my face, and the gentleman had walked out, and I just took a photo of or a video of myself.
Oh no!
To see what all the needles looked like, and I had like tears in my eyes. I was crying because I was so traumatized by what was going on, and I just decided to like post that. And I wrote a really long paragraph about like basically all of you, everybody is on social media, because this was during, I feel like people on social media were still very much about like, it's about the highlights of my life. That's what social media was.
Absolutely.
So I was just mad. I was pissed off. I was like, this is what's really going on in my life right now. And so I just decided to post it. And I'm like, look at my face. I look like a freaking scary person. And I just made a post about it, and basically was just saying like, you know, there's some real shit going on in life.
Yeah.
All of you guys are posting about like your fancy vacation. So it was one of those, like, I was kind of angry, but like I wasn't even angry at anybody. I just was angry at like the situation, and I just wanted to like reality check all the people that were like following me, that like people constantly were like, you're so successful, your life is so great. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, so and that's what I decided to share. And after I did that, I got so much like, I got all these people that were reaching out to me. And at first it like freaked me out because people were really concerned. They were like, I can't believe you're losing your vision. Like, oh my God, like people were freaked out about it more than I was. And so, that was really scary when I posted about it, because I think it actually made me more stressed out about my vision because everyone else was freaked out about it.
Like, do they know something I don't know? Like, should I be freaked out? Yeah.
I think I had been struggling with vision since like for my whole life, basically. Like I had been struggling with it. And so I guess, I don't know, maybe it was like they got the news for the first time about this person that they thought had this like great life or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I shared then, and then I eventually decided to like start documenting my journey. Like I was like, you know what? I've been sharing about real estate stuff that doesn't even matter. And so I really want to like share about real life stuff. And this is my experience. And so I'm going to share about it. And so that's what I did. And when I started sharing about it, especially on YouTube, I got all of these people that either were affected by vision loss, whether it be parents or whether it be people that had also been diagnosed. And I got all of these really great, just so much great feedback. Like this I couldn't have like shared this any better. I've shared this video with my family because I can't explain it the way that you did. Or I showed this to my daughter who is freaked out. She's a teenager. Like I just got so much good feedback that, or not feedback, but just response. And it kind of made me feel like I had a purpose in life, that I was like, I am dealing with this thing that's really, really hard and horrible, but I know that I'm probably one of the stronger people that I know. And so I was like, if anything, maybe I was supposed to deal with this to like help other people. And so that's what I started doing. I started sharing, but there is a huge fine line with it because then it got to a point where I almost felt like obligated to, like, people would ask me questions. Like if I was in a dark season, like when I moved back to Dallas, people would message me, how's your vision? And I'm like, I am like barely hanging on. Like
that's the least of my concerns right now. Yeah.
People would reach out and they'd be like, like, I just got diagnosed and I don't know what to do. And like, can I call you? And I'm like, I don't even know you. Like, I am trying my best to survive too. So it was like I do believe it's really important to like share our experiences. I do believe it helps other people, but I also think it's okay to have a balance of like what your boundaries are, what you are okay sharing or not okay sharing, or hey, I don't know you, I can't support you right now. Like I need to take care of my, like, all those boundaries. But also I think another piece of your question was like, even just like trying to separate ourselves from social media, because then you'll be on social media all the time and you're not living, you're not being present. And so I think I am also right now in a season where I'm trying to I took a big break, maybe like 6 months from posting on social media. And now I'm trying to like integrate back in to being present in my life, showing up and being like motivating to people online that maybe like don't have, that aren't like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Like I want to show up for those people. I also want to be present. So I'm a really big believer that, like I'm a huge advocate for meditation. I think that that's the one thing that changed my entire life. And so I think with my meditation practices over the last like 6 years, I'm pretty self-aware when I can feel myself like, okay, you're going down a place that you're not supposed to be going. And so, so I just think it's like mostly about being self-aware. And I think the way that you do that is through meditation.
Well, speaking of meditation, like, do you recommend that somebody go and learn from like a master, or do you think people can learn to meditate on their own?
Well, I have definitely a variety of experiences with it. When I started meditating, I went on YouTube and started typing in like guided meditation. And that's what I did. And then there's all these apps that have guided meditation. But then throughout the years, or I just kind of felt like I wasn't really like getting the benefits that everybody else says that you're supposed to get from meditation. And so that's where I started. And then during that really dark time of my life, I actually started going to sound baths, which are like a meditation that's like with sound. And so I was in that for a while. But when I was in Thailand, I went to a 9-day silent meditation retreat, which we meditated for 14 hours every day for 9 days, starting at 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. And so that would be a scenario where it was like I was learning from actual Buddhist monks. And I would say that when I did that, that's when I really actually started to understand meditation. But ironically, those retreats are donation based. They're free, or not free, but they're donation. That's like that's the philosophy with like the Buddhist tradition. And so they so to answer your question, I've had a variety of like journey with meditation, from YouTube stuff to going to yoga studios that do sound baths to like learning from gurus. And so for me, I'm actually I just got done with a meditation teacher training here in Austin. And so my hope and what I'm trying to do with social media is actually mix in the two. Like, here's simple, easy ways to learn meditation, but also I have a pretty extensive background with meditation. So I'm also going to teach you stuff that took me like 3 or 4 years to get to, because I was just watching stuff on YouTube that didn't really like hit. It wasn't hitting the way I wanted it to hit. So
yeah. So where do you want to go with this? Like, what's your goal? Do you have, like, I know with your, when you're doing real estate, when you wanted to be, have that wealth so that you could travel, and take care of your family and live a certain kind of lifestyle. What is your goal now?
Yeah. You guys caught me at such a crossroads.
Yeah.
Right now I'm also figuring that out. I feel like I would love, like, my passion, I believe my true purpose is to show up and like share my story, share like the things that I'm doing health-wise and meditation. Like, I know that that's a part of my journey. I also am like a really big believer in travel. And so I'm hoping at the end of this year, I'm going to host my first travel retreat to bring other people. Cause a lot of people want to travel, but they're scared to do it alone, which it makes sense. So I know that I'm going in the path of like wanting to show up for people in a way that is what I'm passionate about, what I truly believe in, which is health and meditation and travel and all of those good things. But I'm still like, a big part of me is actually still doing, or not a big part, I am still running a real estate company too.
Yeah.
And so it's trying to find the balance between, we do have to survive and we do have to make a living, but also understand that like we can also follow our passions and we can also show up. Our life doesn't just have to be like work and not work. It can be full of like making money and passions and showing up for people and all of that. So I would say like this year, I'm just kind of trying to figure out exactly which direction I'm going to pour my energy into, because I'm a really big believer that people that do have the courage to like show up like you guys do, like show up, be vulnerable, share your voice. I do think that there's a reason why we were given that gift. And I think it's like kind of our obligation to show up in that space too.
Yeah. Where's your dream retreat? What's the location?
Honestly, I wouldn't say it's like the dream location, but for me, I'm all about making stuff accessible for people. And since the large portion of my community is in Texas, whether it be Houston, Dallas, or Austin, I probably would do Mexico, because I lived there for 6 months, but I just think it's accessible and it's not that expensive.
Exactly.
It would be nice to take everybody to Thailand, but it's so far that a lot of people can't take off like 2 or 3 weeks at a time. Yeah. So I think Mexico would be a really great starting point.
We'll definitely keep us in tune with what you're doing, because we can definitely promote it out to the community. And
I'm thinking we should when we're done, hook her up with Scott because of his travel. And then definitely Mike May and Gina May, because he's the one that focuses on the blind travelers.
Yeah.
And Scott is he's got one going in Guatemala in a couple weeks.
Go to Guatemala.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
You will love Scott. Google blind pilots. And it has nothing to do with blind people flying airplanes. But yeah. And I want to definitely give a shout out for the blind travel summit that took place in Austin. There was almost, what was it? Almost 200? No, it was almost 100 people there. It was almost 100 people there.
Yes.
And everybody was blind, low vision. Except you. There was a few tag-alongs like most.
They needed the sightlings to make fun of us when they weren't in session.
but I go to, because of work and just my community, I go to a ton of conferences and things that deal with blind and low vision. And I have to say, the one in Austin was the absolute first one that I ever went to. that everybody treated us like adults, because we are adults. And everything about it was, they didn't hold your hand. And so it was, I made more friends at that conference, and we're all travelers. We all travel the world.
Yeah.
And some of us travel independently, like absolutely no, like Jean, she goes to the back parts of India by herself.
That's
and
awesome.
She's totally blind. She's my hero.
Yeah.
And then there's other people that are more into, like, small group traveling, like at different things, or a destination, like a retreat. That we were all different, but the one passion we had is, that's how we learn and we grow and we connect with other humans, is by travel. And so it was one of the reasons Austin was just so special to us. And like you talked about nature in Austin, which people don't realize, that river that runs,
Yeah.
we would go down and just, the city's right there above you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're down there by that river, and water is extremely healing for me. And being by the river and the trees, and it was, there is so much there. Because I was even thinking you were going to do a retreat even in Austin, because I'd be like, sign me up.
Well, I thought about that too, actually. That's funny you say that.
Yeah, because Austin is a cool place. So people are prone, doing weddings. It was the nice thing about a Colorado wedding is everybody on your guest list would show up because they just wanted to come to Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to come to Fort Collins or even Loveland or Boulder, people are going, yeah, of course I'm there.
Exactly. Exactly. And I was in shock, because when they said Austin, I was like, what? And I'd never been there, but I'd heard really neat things. But it really was beautiful. But also, we have spent, I bet if you added it all together, probably 5 years in Mexico, at the different parts, the Yucatan, and then of course where you were near Puerto Vallarta, Yelapa, that whole area.
I've never been there, but I've heard of that area.
You would love Yelapa.
Because where you were was north of Puerto Vallarta, right? Going up the coast?
Yes, and I went there because I had there's so many different things, but I had my breast implants taken out in Mexico. That was a part of my health journey. Was doing that, and so I did that at a doctor in the Puerto Vallarta area. But I also was like, I'm going to move to Mexico because the town is extremely walkable. Like nobody even has cars there. So that was why I chose the Sayulita and like the San Pancho area. But I definitely, I plan to go back to Mexico, and I've heard of these areas that you're mentioning too. So there are definitely places I want to check out.
Yeah. And definitely keep us informed of what you're doing. I have a feeling our paths are going to cross again.
Yeah.
In
hopefully
person.
In Mexico.
Yeah. we would love that.
Yeah.
Jordan, is there anything that you really wanted to share with the audience that we didn't cover today?
Well, I mean, I think we touched on a lot of it. I think if anyone looks at my social media, you'll be able to see that I'm just a really big advocate for, being your own advocate, your own healer, and choosing like things that we already have in our back pockets as far as our health. And regardless if it's dealing with like your vision or if it's dealing with mental health, depression, anxiety, like if you go and look at anything on my channel, I've had a total life like transformation because of these practices. And I'm just such a big believer in it. And I think it's just a message I want to continue to keep sharing with people, especially people in our situation, because I think a lot of people do just kind of give up on life. And this experience for me, I think just started an entire new life for me.
Yeah.
And it was a much better life than what I had before. And so that's really just something that I'm really big. I really want to share with people. And so that's mainly it.
Yeah.
Oh, and share where people can find you. Okay, and
So
we'll put it in the show notes, but
okay, cool. So I have everything. I have TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and a podcast. Everything is cited by Soul. And so yeah, that's where you can find me.
That is awesome.
And this is kind of a add-on, is that most of my life I was very active, very sports oriented, everything from downhill biking and backcountry skiing and surfing and lots of travel adventures and that kind of stuff. And I don't think that it's genetics, because I am a couple of years older than anybody in my family ever lived to, starting with people born in the 1880s. And, but I've been vegetarian now for 38, 40 years. And in fact, after this, while Penn is working, I'm going to the gym. And so the benefit is I don't expect to live really long because, I'm a realist. But up to now, I have had no old man ills. Okay. I have to take one pill. Okay. And that started years ago. And how would you put it? I've got no physical maladies. There's no sport that I can't still do. Yes, I'm slower, but I can still run a 50-minute mile. No, I'm joking. But
what's normal and what's not normal.
A 4-minute mile is like really good. So a 50, you could probably crawl a mile in 50 minutes.
50 minutes,
but and it's how would you put it? It's partially too, I'm fanatic about staying thin, and that makes a major physical difference.
And we talk about that a lot on the podcast, is get out and move. Get outside.
Does it help?
And it's insane how much it helps. It's crazy.
I
love that you guys have that same experience.
But I'm also really big on the therapy and listening to people like what you're doing. Therapy has been hugely important. It's just, it's like if you have a head cold, of course you're going to go to a doctor or get some cold medicine. But mental illness, all that is you're not thinking straight illness, and you go into those guys and it's like, bam, something that's bothered you for years, it's like over, And if your therapist doesn't come up with those aha moments, you want to find another therapist quick.
Well, I was going to say, I've definitely been to my share of therapists, and I'm like how Penn, you were saying earlier, I'm a really big believer with like the medical industry. There's a time and a place for like going to, like, if there's an emergency, you got into a car accident, like, yes, absolutely. I feel the same way about therapy. I think now that everybody is like, it's okay to go to therapy, I guess now. Everybody goes to therapy. And I just am a big believer in balance, because there's also a trend of people that are like, well, I have to go to a therapist all of my life for the rest of my life. And I just don't believe that. I'm a true believer that like all of like the tools, and I bring that up because their therapists are not all the same. And so if you can find one that aligns with like your values, like all of that, I think is super important. Because for me, I did my little time with therapy during that really dark season of my life, but luckily my therapist was good, and she was able to teach me tools to get me up out of that space. And now I'm able to do that for myself. And so I definitely think that not all therapists are the same. don't go into therapy thinking that they're God, because sometimes they're not. They're human
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's true with acupuncturists or massage therapist or
for sure.
any kind of teacher, meditation teacher. Like there are people that it's like in their DNA, right? And kind of like us with Pow. And and I'm seeing a wonderful, wonderful acupuncturist, Heidi Golding, here in Loveland now, and she's she's amazing. But I've also been to acupuncturists that it was it's like they were like, "Oh, I want to be an acupuncturist." Like it wasn't
not
like
a
in their
yeah.
like so yeah. So I think I just want to tell you how much you mean to this world, and I'm so glad you're in it, and I love the changes that you're making, and I really hope you know that in your heart. And I'm just one person saying it, I know, and I hope you're hearing that from the masses, because it is true. We need more of you out there.
So. Thank you so much, you guys. As you guys can probably see, I'm in a very transitional place again in my life right now, and so this I think conversation came right on time, because it's just more validation for what I think all of us should be doing, which is like pouring into our health and sharing it with others. So I really appreciate you guys.
And I think it's okay that we face crossroads throughout our life.
Definitely.
Like I think people do get frustrated. Like they think that, oh, I've made these decisions and I feel really good and everything. And then life happens, right? And so you're going to hit those crossroads. It's a different crossroads, right? It's a journey, and there's going to be decisions you have to make. But if you do it the way you're looking at it is with knowledge and your heart, and with health in mind, and I think I just want everybody out there to know, like, that it just because you get through something and you feel like you're on top of that mountain. I love that reference that you said, that you may not always be on top of the mountain, but you have those tools, right? That you can fall back on. So I love that.
Well, I had a teacher that I had met in Thailand, and he and I did a podcast one time, and he shared something that I think about quite often, that he's much older than me and obviously been down this path for a lot longer than me. But he was sharing with me, he was like, he's like, you don't go down this path of healing, physical or emotional healing, just to like get healed and then that's it. He was like, he's like, you're learning to surf. He was telling me, he was like, you could be not as skilled of a surfer and you're going out there and you're getting beat up by the waves. He was like, but over time, you just learn to ride the wave better. And he was like explaining to me that it's, you're not going to just get on top of the mountain and then that's it. Like, we're always going to have the ebbs and flows of life. I mean, there's the opposite to everything. You're going to have positive seasons. You're going to have hard seasons, but I think it's just more so about focusing on like learning how to navigate the waves and know that like, hey, I got this. Like, I know that I'm in a dark season, or I know I'm in a transitional season, but this is not going to take me under. Like, I'm going to ride the wave on this. So
I love that, because the waves are going to keep coming, right?
Yes.
Like there's nothing to stop the wave, and the wave is meant to keep coming.
Right.
So I love that metaphor.
Yeah.
Wow. I think about it all the time. I am like, you got this. You're a good surfer now.
Yeah. But even when you're a good surfer,
you'll get knocked out.
Oh, I love that. Well, Jordan, thank you so much. Much. And definitely stay in touch with us. Everybody out there, look up Jordan, reach out, follow her. Once she puts these retreats together, if you have the means to go, she has a lot to teach us.
And definitely, if something when your transition solidifies, and if you come up with some big thing, get hold of Jonathan, and we'll do another podcast.
Yeah.
so we can talk about it.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping right now what I'm working on is I want to start doing like online meditation practices, because I feel like it's super accessible. My network is all over the country, all over the world really at this point.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm working on. So definitely I will keep you guys posted, because I think that I'm a really big believer meditation is like where everything started for me. And so I think that even people could just get like used to that practice, I think is just like a huge game changer. It sounds so minor, but it is a huge game changer for life. So
yeah, and meditation is like the most accessible thing out there. Like you just need you, and you is very important. So that's awesome.
I really enjoyed talking with you guys.
Thank you, Jordan. And everybody out there, thank you for showing up week after week. We really appreciate it. You're the ones that make, this possible. Thank Aftersight, because without all of that team, this absolutely would not be happening. So please be kind to yourselves this week, and find a way to be kind to somebody else. It's good for your soul.